All right, hello and welcome to 5 Minutes with Sean, maybe 10. Today is all about change, right? And my biggest question to all of my dealer friends out there is why do you make changes when you make them? What motivates you to change things? I've got a few different situations in my world right now that have brought this up. And I wonder, right, from where I sit. And so I've got one situation. It's got more to do with specifically car biz. We had a customer walk away from our service after 4 years and then cancel everything else in its wake, right? And so I wondered what motivated that. And unfortunately, the relationship with that particular client sort of fell out of the bottom fell out of it. So I wasn't able to get the answers that I had hoped for. But what I'm looking to understand is what motivates. And I think I know what motivated in this case, particularly, it just wasn't what someone wanted to hear, and it was a bad day, and the bad day culminates into all of this. And then we just walk away from what you've been doing for 4 years with exceptional results. And so I wonder, is it your emotions that get you to change? Because that does not seem like the best guide in making financial and or data-driven decisions, right? So I don't think that's what we should be doing. I've got another situation where, new general manager comes in and says, look, I need to do something, so I'm going to change out the SEO company. Okay. So you're new, and really at this particular store, they don't have, as most of you do not have, a lead or customer issue. Most of you have a selling problem, okay? You have a selling problem. You don't have a data and lead issue. If you really look at things, it is less than 20% of the time is that actually the case. More frequently than not, it is how you handle incoming leads. It is your sales staff. It is your BDC. It is how you equity mine. It is how you work your service drive. It is all of these other things. Yet this particular discussion was all about, well, I have to do something. Well, if you have to do something, then think through it. But let's just assume that you went ahead and did something to do something, right? Change for the sake of change, which is dumb. It's just dumb. When there's no real reason or data to back it up, it's dumb. And in our industry, what happens is when we have new people come into new stores, whatever they were doing before, whatever vendor they believed on the outside was performing well for them, they immediately bring in and push upon the new store that they're at. Now, when asked, well, how did you judge that and how do you verify that that worked? It did. Nope. That doesn't work for me. It did is not the answer. So again, let's assume that we got to this point and everything still happened, even with lame excuses leading up to it. Now that we're here, right? Now that we've launched this whole thing, it's live, it's ready to go. How are we going to judge the effectiveness of our change? If we didn't use data to dictate the change, then how will we use data to validate the change? This is my issue. I don't really care if my clients switch over vendors. I really don't. I definitely will say what I feel at the moment because my job is to advise people on the best decision, but it's their stores and their money, and I never forget that. I never let them forget that. So they make the change. But we don't have a plan to judge its effectiveness. And please, nobody come to me and tell me that I'm going to judge the effectiveness of the change of a vendor, and in this case, my SEO vendor. The way I'm going to do that is by knowing I had more showroom visits and more solds. If that's your math equation for effectiveness, you are out of your mind. Period. There's no way the correlation can be there on such a simple change. So what are we going to do to judge the effectiveness? Are we going to look at certain page engagement? Are we going to look at lead totals? Are we going to look at organic users? Are we going to look at sessions? What are we going to do to judge effectiveness? Because we change for the sake of change, which probably means we're not even going to look at effectiveness because we just made this change based on the air. and what we prefer to do in the moment. So there you are, right? You made the change. I've got another client who has multiple used car facilities and was basically out at one of the big conferences and saw the glitz and glamour of one of the largest names in our business, and they were pitched on this idea of full integration from your CRM through to your website, through to your third-party listings, including digital retail. We are going to give you all of the answers. So we want your SEO, we want your PPC. So now you have everything you offer in one house, and that is how you're going to make this work. You're going to get on our website platform, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And the dealers say to themselves, yeah, that's going to be easier. My owner called it one throat to choke. That is a terrible analogy. I'm repeating it because in this point it has context and it's understood that it's one place to go for your issues. The problem is there aren't enough good employees in the world, okay, to pull this off at one place. One place did not hire all of the SEO experts, PPC experts, website maintenance folks, digital retail product. It's not possible that one place has the end-all be-all. Not to mention that when you start looking at line items on budgets, my God, how much I would freak out knowing I was paying one guy. My entire world was in his basket, more so than anything else. 80% of the budget was in his basket. That's concerning. That's concerning. And this group, they made the change, right? And I love them. I signed them up mid-change, so I get it. I couldn't help them guide through this. I'm going to help navigate now the mess that has occurred afterwards. That's not the dealer's fault. And I shouldn't say never. I won't say never. It is rarely the dealer's fault. You know whose fault it is? It's the provider. I know. I get it. People go, oh, well, always blame the provider. It is the provider, okay? These dudes switch websites without even transferring metadata or any other of the SEO basics you should do when switching a website. So there's number one. They don't set up their PPC accounts in AdWords. They don't even believe this particular company isn't even a fan of Google Analytics. Great. You're not a fan of what everyone basically within the industry has agreed is a middleman that we can all at some level trust and look at as a guide. And don't forget this, data is only a guide. It is not black and white guaranteed. But anyways, you get into this, you have this single relationship, and if one thing breaks and you want out, then they want to tie it to the others. They want to up this price. They want to move that price. That's not fair. And dealers, it isn't good for you, okay? It isn't good for you to have everything you do with one person. It's just not. There's just not enough good quality people. There's not enough secondary eyeballs. Myself, obviously, we love to help our clients whenever we can, but you have multiple people working on things to get different perspectives. That is what's important. So I will leave you with the idea and question. My idea is to think through your changes and try not to use your heart, but use your brain and data to make those decisions. And on top of that, here's the question we started with, and we'll end with it. Why do you make the changes you make to your vendors? What is it? I want to hear from you. As always, you can reach me 262-278-0157. The email, Sean, SEAN, @carbizdonebetter.com. I'm all over LinkedIn. I am not personally on any of the other social media platforms, but I do love engaging. So please, wherever you can find me, let me know, and keep the engagement coming because we love doing this, and it's a lot of fun. So thanks, and we'll see you again next week.